Good morning, everybody. Happy hump day. Happy Wednesday and happy trash day. Jack was pretty excited. Trash man came today on his regular day. So he was up early and ready to bark at him. Again, I apologize for the noise. I know it's probably a lot louder today than it was yesterday because I got both of them cranked up and that noisy one is really making some racket back there. I'm sure you can probably hear it if you listen close. But it is what it is. I got to run some parts. So let's see who we got hanging out with us today. Got a few thumbs up over there. Looks like we got a few slackers here today too. So oh well. Let's see. We got Darren Birds. Good morning, sir. Larry Galt says good morning, everyone. The Gatton will be running full blast this hump day to cut yet another sign. Good deal. Sounds like a plan. Better get out there early. It's going to be hot, isn't it, Larry? Lonnie's here this morning. Good morning. Troy Pritchard. Good morning. I hope you're doing well. Clyde's here. Good morning, Clyde. Thomas Graham. Good morning. John Howard. Good morning. Let's see who else we got. Sean's here. Good morning. Monroe Cook is here. And Leo Steger's here as well. Good morning. Let's see, is that I'm not sure what that is. I think maybe that was supposed to be a flag, but it doesn't have it. Brian Ballard's here. Says, morning, got the walk door put in the building this morning. Now off to a doctor's appointment to check up on my arm. All right, well, give us an update when you know something about that. And I hope hope all those antibiotics and stuff they got you on is doing some good. I've had I got up. Let's see, when was it I crawled out of bed? I think it was before 6:30, I guess. And I came in here and fired these things up because I drew up a couple of parts yesterday, and they're pretty good sized parts. They're actually the same part. It's a right and a left, and got those drawn up and did the slicer thing. I really wish those slicers, because I haven't found any of them they're kind of like Vectric when it comes to estimated time. They're not really even that close, I don't think, but because I always know when I do a slicer and it tells me that it's going to be this long, I always figure, well, let's add, depending on the time, I'll add another 30 minutes or an hour or 2 hours or whatever. But I noticed something kind of strange yesterday. Well, I guess maybe it isn't strange, but I was running the same part on just a little part on both machines. And I actually started up the newer one, I call it number 2. Started it up first and then started the other one, but basically started them almost the same time, within a minute of each other. But the one that I call number 1 here, that has the newer board, the silent stepper thing, it apparently is faster for some reason than the other one, because I, like I said, I actually started the other one about a minute earlier, but the other one finished in exactly 2 hours, and then the other one that I started a minute earlier, it finished at 2 minutes and 6 seconds. So, I mean, they're pretty close to each other, but you would think, running the exact same program, they would have the same time, but no. And then I ran something that was a longer time. Let's see, how long was it? It was those things I was running yesterday morning. They were 6 hours. No, 5 hours, and I should have wrote it down, or maybe I did write it down. Anyway, it was the same thing. The longer the way it runs. Oh, here it is, where I did write it down. Yeah, the one with the silent board ran it in 5 hours and 31 minutes, but the one with the stock board ran it in 5 hours and 41 minutes. So pretty close, but still, it's just a little bit slower than the other one for some reason. Let's see here. Okay. Sean says, noise is not all that noticeable. If anything, it's sounds of progress. Okay, I'm going to go with that it's a sound of progress. I tell you one thing I've learned this morning. Of course, I knew this was coming. I love my little Ender 3 printers. But when I got ready to design the part that I'm running back there on them now, I had to stop and think, well, that print bed's only so big. So I had to take that into consideration. And I really would have liked to make it a little bit bigger, but the part that's running back there now is, but like I said, both of them it's a right and a left, and they will be about 7.5 inches tall, which laying down, that's, the thing is what, 220, I think, is what the build thing is, and that's about 8.6 inches or something. So it's starting to get close to where I'm already wanting to run stuff that's bigger than what that can make. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll have to turn it up the other way and see if it'll run that way. Which it might work that way. I don't know. Let's see here. Short says, good hump day. Yep. John said he forgot to put the flag on. Yeah, I figured it. I figured that's what the us meant. It probably meant U.S. Marcelo's here. Good morning. Nice and sunny after a full day of rain. Yeah, we got a bunch of rain yesterday. And it looks like, and I think we're supposed to get a storm this afternoon. I'm hoping that since I got these long runs going, that it doesn't knock the power off. But what the heck? No guts, no glory, right? Keith Stanford here this morning. Good morning, Keith. Ryan says, I don't think they take into an account the rapids, just laying down the filament. Yeah. It's like I said, I wish you could look at the slicer and know that it's about right, but they're not that close. I did, and one thing I still don't like is I wished I could have got the stock firmware on that new board like I have on that other one, because it tells you the elapsed time, how long it's been running, but it also has the remaining time. It flashes between those two, and then the percentage of it that's done. And usually it's not that accurate. I'm sure if I went over there and looked at it right now, it would say it's got a whole day and something left. But as it gets closer to being done, it keeps getting closer to being right. And then finally, when you get down to, I don't know, maybe the last fourth of the program or whatever, it's pretty much dead on. Because if I come in here and see that it says there's 47 minutes left, I can go tell my Echo Dot to set a reminder or a timer for 47 minutes. And when it goes off, I'll walk in here, and sure enough, it'll either have just gone off or it will go off while I'm standing here. So, but the other one where I replaced that board, it doesn't have that. It just only tells the elapsed time and not how much is remaining. Now, it does have the percentage thing, but that doesn't really tell me a whole lot. Let's see. Larry says, Dave, you're slacking on the Design Spark mechanical videos. Get with the program. All right. Well, I'm. It's not that I'm not using it, because that's what I'm using to draw everything that I'm designing for this project I'm running right back here. So, and again, you got to remember, I'm still learning stuff too. So as I learn stuff, then I can show you guys. But because I am a long way from an expert at that for sure. I haven't been using it much longer than the rest of y'all. It's just that, I have the benefit of having experience modeling in 3D by using SolidWorks all those years. So for me, it's just a matter of, taking what I know how SolidWorks does it and figuring out how Design Spark does it, which, and I was drawing that part last night, and I didn't think about something until it was probably too late. But here's some food for thought here. If you're, how I've showed y'all how to do the mirror line, so that every time, you set the mirror line, and then every time you draw something, it's going to draw it on the other one. Well, if you ever get ready to draw a part, and say you're going to want a mirrored image of that part, so because you got a right and a left thing you're wanting to make, plan ahead and put you a mirror line, because I started drawing that part and I didn't even think about it being a right and a left until I was practically done with the part. And then I thought, oh, well, and I guess the reason I thought like that is because in SolidWorks, you don't have to plan ahead. You can draw a part and you can go up there and there's a thing to just tell it to save it as a mirrored part, and it saves everything as a mirrored image. It saves it as a separate part. And as far as I can tell, Design Spark does not do that, at least not an easy way. So what I ended up doing was, once I got the part done, I then took it and put, one flat surface that had the most detail so that I wouldn't have to draw that over again, and then save that as a DXF file. And of course, we all know that Design Spark, you can't bring a DXF file in, but I saved it to a DXF file, then opened it up in FreeCAD, which is the workaround, brought that DXF in FreeCAD. I think that thing's hanging up again. Man, I would be so glad. I should have just thrown that spool away. It's just such a pain in the butt because if you're not sitting right here watching it, it will it will hang up, and if you let it stay hung up, eventually it can't pull it, so it stops feeding the filament out there. But let's see, where was I? So anyway, so I opened it up in FreeCAD and then took the DXF and then exported that back as a step file, and then I was able to bring that step file in. And now I had taken the part, and when I saved the DXF, I turned it around so that I had what would essentially become the opposite side. And at least that saved me from having to redraw the whole part. But then after I thought about it, I'm like, Dave, you idiot, you should have thought about that. Because, this isn't SolidWorks. This isn't thousands of dollar software. It's free stuff. It's not going to do everything for you. But I think it would have worked if I had just, although I'll have to experiment more because I've got some more stuff that's probably going to be a right and a left. So I may try to just try it by doing that mirror line. But I don't think it's going to, when you go to pull something, I don't think it's going to pull it on the other side. I don't know. I'll have to let you know. It'll be something I'll learn myself, I guess. Let's see. Yeah, Larry, I'll get back to them eventually. I've had some people ask me to show them how to do the thread things, and until I can get one done, I will post a link to. Let's see if I can find it here. Let's see if I can find it. That little yeah, here it is. So I'm going to post this link here. This is that this should show up over there. This is that little guy from Indonesia, W3DE Studio. And this is one of the videos I've watched. And of course, I've played around with it myself to do it. But he shows how to make a container with a screw-on cap. So he shows you how to do internal and external threads in that video. So maybe that'll hold you over until I can get another video done. It's going to be, it's not that I don't want to keep doing the little video tutorials, but this other project I'm fired up about, and I'm trying to work on it. So, let's see. Lonnie says Cura has plugins that does all those things. Okay, what things are we talking about? Are we talking about the cycle times and all that? I used to use, when I had those 3D printers before, 4 years ago, I had the free Cura. It wasn't the Ultimaker Cura, but it was just the plain Cura, I guess is what it was called. Or maybe it was the Ultimaker Cura. I don't know. Anyway, I had some kind of Cura. But this time, when I bought that first one, the first thing I did was grab the SD card. I think that thing's fixing to hang up again. Yep, let me get it. Yeah, Yeah, that thing's probably not going to make it because I'm not going to be sitting back here babying it the whole way. It'll probably hang up eventually. But the one on the other side um, is running in the black. It's doing it. It says time left, the layer you were on, and layers left. All right, now I'm confused because you're saying Cura has a plug-in, but how does it? So it does something and makes your controller say it? Because that's where I'm talking about is looking at the board after I've started running and being able to look at the printer and see how much it's got left. Clyde said he's got to run. See you, Clyde. Have a good day, buddy. Yeah, it's not that big a deal because that's the other thing about 3D printing that is obviously way different than using a CNC router. With a CNC router, you can stop anytime you want and come back, take right off where you left off, all that stuff. But you just can't do it with a 3D printer. And once you start something, it better keep on going. Okay, he's saying, yeah, it will show on the screen. Okay, well, I need to check that out then. Because I sure would like it to do that. I just figured it was something in the firmware in the board that did that. Because like I said, the stock one that I have that's using the noisy board, it will show that. It'll show the elapsed time. It flashes between a start off. It'll show the elapsed time, then the time remaining, and then the percentage that it's done. And then it goes right back to the elapsed time and just keeps cycling through those three as you look at the info screen. But the other one, the one that's quiet, it does not do that. It only shows the elapsed time and the percentage done. So now if I'm running both of them, I can kind of use the one from the other one to know about. And that's how I figured out when I got to looking. I go, that one's, they're running basically the exact same thing, but that one is a little faster. So, okay, it says while it's printing, it will show on the printer screen. Okay. Well, I'll have to. Now, is that Cure? Is that the Ultimaker Cure? Is that the one you're talking about? Because I think there's. Let me look and see. I think there's more than one. That doesn't even. All right, here's Ultimaker Cure. I guess this is what I had before. I'll download this and see what it says. But yeah, I've been using the Creality slicer just because. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm downloading right now. So I'll play around with that today while these are running. Man, that stupid thing. Can you see it right back there? It's getting down near the end of that spool. I mean, it's still got quite a bit on it, but it's like every time it gets where it's trying to pull it from under the thing. Somebody didn't do a good job winding that one, I guess. I guess I'll just let it go, and if it messes up, it messes up because I'm definitely not going to be sitting in here for 14 hours watching that spin. I should have went ahead and changed up that spool and before I started that one. Lonnie says, Make with Tech has some good videos on that subject. Let me write that down and I will check that out as soon as I get off of here. Yeah, man, that thing sounds noisy to me. Sounds really noisy. These are long runs, but these are still just test parts. I'm trying to test everything as far as the strength and stuff like that. Make sure it's going to hold what I need it to hold, and so I'm not real concerned that these, one's gray and one's black and stuff like that, because I'm not going to be using these parts in the final product anyway. Which I've got some filament that's supposed to be here today, and then of course after I ordered that filament the other day, I'm like, well, wait a minute, Dave. You got to keep remembering now you got two things. So if you're wanting to run parts and keep them in the same color, you got to get two spools of things so you can put one on each machine. So anyway, we'll get one and see how it comes. See how it looks, and then if I like it, I'll get another one. He says, have you tried to flip the spool so it feeds over the top? It is feeding over the top. It's coming over the top of the spool, if that's what you mean. Because if I had the filament, I'm going to try to hold my finger. If I had it coming under the spool, then it would be an even sharper turn down, but it's coming over the top of the spool. Then it goes through a guide. I printed out some new guides. This is one of the old ones that I was using, and it goes over the frame, but I printed out two new ones, and they have a split right here, which is much nicer because it basically plugs in to the end of that 2020 extruded aluminum right there. It's got a little plug you plug in there, and then it's got a thing where this sits down in there, and this has a notch in it, which is much better because now you don't have to pull it out and feed it through there. You can get it in there without having to have it out of the extruder. And I've done that for both machines. Both machines I've ran the parts to make them pretty much identical. The only difference between them is one has the silent board and one does not. But yeah, that spool, that gray spool, has just been a headache since day one when I put it on there. It'll run a while, and then the next thing you know, you hear it kind of popping or something, and you look and it's tugging on it because the filament is trying to pull has got other filament over it. So George said, I've been using Ultimaker Cura 5.0. Anybody have good plugins they want to share? I don't know. You can probably Google that and find everything you need to know. LB says, when I used to buy cheap filament, I used to use a hand drill with an empty spool and re-spool so it would not hang up. Then use the new spool on the printer. Yeah, the problem is that gray, that was one of the very first spool I bought. So I did I didn't have any empty spools for a while. I've got a couple now, but there's not really enough filament left on there to make it even worthwhile to do it. Because by the time I run today, if it makes it, if it doesn't get hung up and mess this part up, there, I mean, there may not even be enough filament on there to do that part. I don't know. We'll see. But it's hung up again. I can tell. See, the bad thing, if it hangs up so hard that that extruder can't pull it and feed it in, then it thinks it's putting stuff on there and it's not. So you got a gap, and then it won't work at all. So anyway, Shep is another good video. Yeah, I like that guy. I think I'm subscribed to him. He's got a lot of good stuff. All right, well, that was my time. We're gonna get out of here. We're at 498 today. Got just a couple more before we hit 500. So that's a good deal there. All right, let me get out of here. Y'all have an awesome hump day. Come back tomorrow and I'll let you know if these turned out. maybe not. We'll see. And I see Mike's. Yeah, Mike, I'm working on a new thing I'm trying to design. So I've got there was some 3D printing going on yesterday and maybe the day before. I don't remember, but it's probably going to be running pretty much every day for the coffee sessions for a while till I get these done. All right, let me get out of here. Y'all have a good Wednesday and stay dry and all that stuff. And we will see y'all tomorrow for number 499. See y'all.